You're now listening to
I don't want this thing to, obscure my beautiful features, but I guess I literally have to have the mic touching my face to...
Yeah, man, I don't know why you're always complaining, but that's just how it has to. Alright, at least you have it easier. I have to hold this thing that could easily just clip onto my shirt. I think I'll just do the clip. Play it safe here.
Oh, this little guy with his fucking clip. Oh, it's so fancy.
It's so
hands free. Look at all the bits he can do with both of his hands.
This episode
is sponsored by Rage Shop. We can't do that again.
This episode is with a vengeance, is what I was fucking saying.
Oh yeah, podcast with a vengeance.
Because the last one died such a tragic.
Dude, we're getting so heated. We're getting so heated in here because of what happened last time. I'm gonna have to take my sweatshirt off.
It's totally unrelated to the fact that it's just warmer in here now because the fan's off.
No, it doesn't get hotter. I'm getting hot.
I'm getting mad, dude.
Getting heated, bro.
So what? We recorded like a 30-something. We didn't do like an hour, thankfully, or anything, but we did a pretty long little segment. It was funny. It was good. It's probably the only decent episode of the podcast so far. And when we were getting really into the thick of it, I noticed I had started the virtual camera on OBS instead of recording. So we
Branden, we can't say that. The thick of it is copywritten now. We can't say that.
I'm in the thick of it.
Everybody knows. Oh, where's the cane, by the way?
It's right there on the wall with your hoodie you left it. I didn't notice that the cane was here first.
I forgot that the hoodie was here too, because I was literally looking for that one instead of this black one before I came here. And I was like, where did it go?
That's what I noticed first, because I noticed I was on the chair still, and I was like, oh, I texted you. I was like, you left your hoodie here, by the way. And then the next morning, I was like, this motherfucker also left his cane.
I'll go grab the cane real quick. They'll want to know about this.
I'm not putting the fucking wizard costume back on. That's another thing that happened. Goddamn, sorry. In the last episode that didn't see the light of day was that what's the right word? I debuted my awesome, totally not scuffed, terrible wizard costume I made for Halloween. And maybe it's for the best that that's gone now, because this straight up just looked like I was cultural appropriation up in this. I looked like I was just making fun of Muslim culture.
If you think about it from like a more kind standpoint, you're really just unveiling your new brand, your fashion brand, because Branden's in his fashion era now, aren't you? You're making clothes and stuff.
Yeah, specifically for people who live on the other side of it.
I'm in my warrior stage, so I brought my cane sword for the last podcast, and sadly...
Bitch, that's a cane knife. I've seen cane swords, they're way longer than that.
It's not about the size of the sword, okay? It's about how you swing it. And I swing it like bibbidi bobbidi boo, and I cast a spell on you.
I've never heard that expression before. It's not about the size of the sword, it's about how you swing it. About how good your helicopter is. Oh man, fuck me.
It's not about the quality of the helicopter, it's the gas in the tank. And we, my friend, are fucking empty.
Oh god, this burger's falling apart. Burger King, why you make your sandwiches so fucking...
No, I think that was the most insane part of the movie, Journey to the Mysterious Island for me. This is gonna come out of nowhere, but anybody who's seen that movie, they take the most rinky-dinky, not trustworthy helicopter to the middle of the ocean. And there's a lot of other options near them. But
isn't that the one with the rock in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the worst version of it's a sequel to...
It's a totally... Yeah, no, the first one's better.
The Journey to the Center of the Earth with Brendan Fraser or whatever.
That was a really good movie.
I loved that when I was a kid.
Yeah. But, fuck. They take this rinky-dink helicopter out to the center of the ocean, and they have other options. But this dude with this rinky-dinky helicopter sells them on it so easily. And by sells them on it, I mean he has a hot daughter. And the main character of the movie, that I don't remember the name of, just sees her and he's like, "Oh, and he goes, "Aruga," and he gotta go full in. He's like, "No, we gotta take this helicopter." And the Rock's like, "This thing's gonna fall apart before we make it a mile off the coast." And he's like, "Nah, we gotta trust it. You gotta have faith."
And then it crashes it.
His reasoning for that was insane. He was
Doesn't
like,
it crash?
I think it does, yeah. His reasoning for because they couldn't take it back.
Yeah, and they start flying around on like those big bugs instead.
The bees, yeah.
Yeah, they were bees. Oh my god.
They have to use like this submarine to get back, but his whole reasoning for why they should take that helicopter was something along the lines of like, "This is my trip. You have to trust me, because I'm right, and I did all the research for us to get here, so you have to trust me." And it's like, yeah, but that helicopter is shit.
That is the saddest helicopter I've ever seen, but what? I wonder if we're gonna get stuck on this island that we're Everyone knows that the true best, like, Journey to Some Fucked Place movie is the Will Ferrell one. What's that one called? Where he goes, Journey to, like, the Lost Land or something like that, where he and these two other people.
Journey to the Land of the Lost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that weird place where everything...
I love that fucking movie.
Probably not as good as I remember it being, but I was a kid when I watched that, but it was
it's awful, but...
No, it's awful.
It's really funny. There's a lot of racist undertones there.
There is. I didn't really remember. I just remember thinking that the premise was pretty interesting of just the random shit that would end up in this place dropped from different timelines in the world, it seemed.
Yeah. I think at the worst... Because, like, see, a lot of the premise was interesting. A lot of that stuff was interesting. But the plot writing was kind of bad. Because there's, like, this mysterious lizard people race that pops out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then this dude's like, "I'm the great wizard of the people. They're all evil, but I'm not." And it's like, that's bullshit. You can see it from a mile away.
Though. They're just
Like, you can see from a mile away that he's a villain in disguise. And then turns out he's actually the big bad guy of the movie. Who would have known?
Also, a lot of that movie is just them. The script writing for that movie is literally just them going to a place and then seeing something weird and being like, "That was weird." That thing we just saw? Weird. And unnatural, and
that
lost
entire
from our
movie,
world.
the entire movie is like Will Ferrell giving up on life and wanting to kill himself. Because in the first like 10 minutes of the movie, he has so much energy and life, and he's like, I'm gonna be this great scientist, and I'm gonna find all this cool stuff, and then he gives up, and he never tries again.
That's life, man. He went hollow. Oh my god! I just spilled Coke on myself like I was trying to just take the thing off. Why didn't I just put
Branden, in post Branden, editing Branden, because I don't like talking to this guy, but I like talking to editing Branden.
There's a difference.
There is.
Between me and pissed off me at 7 a.m.
Gonna be even more pissed off when he's hearing this, but could you just zoom in real quick on where the Coke fell? Would he open that up? That'd be awesome.
No.
Do it. Push.
No.
Do it. Push.
I have ultimate powers. Like I could slap you right now from the. Look out behind you.
It already happened before I looked behind me. I know it did.
Ah, fuck.
You know, just for the Cuphead video, I'm just gonna put a loser hat on, like a dunce cap, for the rest of the video.
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst cap?
From Mary J. from Spider-Man. No, that's so mean.
Oh,
excuse me, goddamn. It's the BK.
I do remember there used to be a scene in like the uncut version, and I understand why they cut it, but Will Smith gets eaten by a dinosaur in that movie, and I don't think you see him come out of the dinosaur.
You mean Will Ferrell?
Will Smith?
Are we talking about Land of the Lost?
Yeah. This dude gets eaten. I'm confused. This man gets eaten by...
The two Wills of Hollywood.
This man gets eaten by a dinosaur. and you don't see him come out of the dinosaur in the movie, but there's like an extended or cut scene where you see him come out of the dinosaur in like a shit bubble, but it's like a bubble. He's just straight up, he's just in a bubble. Like a gray, kind of brown bubble. And then it pops, and they're like, what did you do? And he was like, I made friends with it. And it's like, you just got shit out, what do you mean? You made friends with it.
I made friends with him, particularly his prostate from the inside. I don't remember that happening at all. Maybe I should watch it.
No, because that was a cut scene, because I watched it again recently, and it wasn't in there, but I was like, I swear, I've seen that scene multiple times. I know it's in there somewhere.
I made friends. God. Oh, man. Changing the topic. But
Sour Patch. See, the last time I'm sorry, the last time I came over here, I was grabbing like snacks. I got these like orange slices, and you didn't seem too interested. And I saw Sour Patch Kids, and for some reason, I was like, he doesn't like Sour Patch Kids. There's no way. So I didn't get him.
I love that. It's just
And now that I
not like these bitches.
Now that I know you do, I feel like an idiot. 'Cause if I would have just gotten one of them big bags of Sour Patch Kids.
It's cool, bro. Oh, fuck. But no, fuck. It finally, I had my moment. Finally. Dark Souls finally clicked for me. Everyone always says that. I've loved those games for years, by the way, just to preface that. I've always liked them, but I've just been so fucking bad. Like, I limp through those goddamn games. And everybody, you know what I mean? Like, if you watch, like, a video on any of those games, they always say that they do terrible when they first started, but at some point, something just clicks. Like, did you have that when you played Elden Ring, where it just, switched?
Yes. Oh, God. See, the thing is, Elden Ring clicked for me multiple times, though, because I'd have a build that was not going well. And then it would start getting a lot better. But then, like, I'd get to a certain point in the game, and it's like, I can't progress anymore, so I'd restart to an entirely different build, and then that build would click. Same thing happened. And finally, I did Lightning, which I did not realize at the time was the easiest.
That shit is OP in all of those games.
Yes, just innately powerful build.
The lightning rods in Dark Souls 1 are insane. That's what I was trying to do, the Faith build originally, but it wasn't, I couldn't get it to work for some reason, even though I had all of the proper stats. Like, I was the proper level you needed to for all the things to be able to use the spear, and I had assisted. I think one of the things you have to do is you have to be summoned by another player and help them, and I did that, and still I couldn't use it, so I just ditched that fucking guy, and I went back to my Dark Souls character from 2 fucking years ago called Smeeg. And I gave up on Smeeg because I couldn't progress past New Londo for some reason, and I spent fucking hours on New Londo again, which is this weird town with a bunch of ghost people that you have to use a curse to be able to even hurt them, and there's a limited amount of those, so you have to go buy them and shit. It sucked. I spent hours in there, and then I realized I wasn't supposed to fucking be there at all. I was way too early, so I started going to all these different locations and killing different bosses, and I still wasn't progressing the game. Like, I went back to the original tutorial level and killed that second boss. Nothing. I was so confused, and then I fucking realized 2 years ago, I had never fucking finished ringing the second bell in Blighttown, which is like one of the first things you have to do, like the bell ringing. That's the first task of the game. And I was like, oh my god, I am so fucking stupid. I had to go all the way back through Blighttown, because there's no teleporting between the bonfires in early Dark Souls, you know? You have to walk everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go all the way back through Blighttown, fight this fucking stupid-ass boss down there, just to finally now be able to progress the game after 2 years, after banning that character 2 years ago. And now, that wasn't even what clicked. What clicked was when I finally just realized how wrong I've been playing these games for years, and like the whole like safe approach of hiding behind a shield and taking everything slowly. It's just not the way to do it. And maybe it works for some people. I shouldn't say it's not like bad, but like it's not the way for me, you know? So I went 2-hand great axe, this huge axe. I upgraded it all the way. I upgraded shit on my strength, and now my whole gimmick is just I fuck people up. I do not hold back. I fuck people up, and that's what made it click. When I realized I need to stop avoiding the challenge and embrace it instead, just like fully go for it, that's when the game becomes so much more fucking fun, dude.
See, because I think that's what you see with a lot of better players too, and that's kind of the experience I had with Elden Ring, is the moment I walk into a room, I kill something.
Yeah.
And that makes the fight easier.
Yeah,
When there's
exactly.
less things to worry about, is like the faster you can kill some of your problems, the less you have to defend and dodge around.
Because I think for years I mistook what people meant by being patient with the game as like you have to take things kind of slow sometimes. That's not what they mean. You just gotta be patient with the process of like getting fucking ganked over and over again until you learn how to be good at the game. Because they don't make it seem that way, but it is super rewarding to actually just be very aggressive in those games.
Oh yeah, dude. Fuck it. Same with like bosses, is because like in Elden Ring, you're gonna do your most damage usually first like 15 seconds of the boss fight. It's
Yeah.
like that's when like a lot of your best buffs last. Is they last for like 15 to 20 seconds. It's like if you do like a Hail Mary and get like 2 hits in early game or early boss fight, you're gonna take out like a quarter of that man's health, even without like a prime build, and that makes it so much easier.
Yeah, just don't hold back. That's my only advice for people who are struggling with those games. It's just like just go fucking crazy. All right, that's like it's the Bloodborne way of playing. Just go crazy. It makes it so much more fun because now I don't even have like. I don't really wear like any armor. I'm kind of just dressed like the Grim Reaper right now. I have a Grim Reaper cloak on, no shoes, of course.
That makes you like fast as hell for
I
a
think
heavy
it does a
heavy
little bit.
weapon player though.
But the thing is too, I don't have like a big health bar. I kind of fucked up in that sense now that I'm at Anne Orlando in my playthrough. I haven't been upgrading my vitality or whatever like at all. So I'm pretty early game health still, but that's kind of made it feel a little more rewarding in a certain way because I die so much easier now, so I really have to think about things before I do them. And it makes it a lot more engaging.
See, that was I kind of made the same mistake. As I was playing that lightning build and I got late game and I had light armor. I don't think I had upgraded my vigor, so my vigor was like 14. I hadn't upgraded my magicka, so my magic was at like 14.
Yep.
And my entire build strat was I buffed to hell, and then I used the same cast twice, and that cast would usually kill bosses in 2 to 3 casts.
Right.
So I would just pack a bunch of mana and health flasks, and my whole strategy was I go in really aggressive, I try to get a hit or 2 in, and then I back the fuck up and I heal and I use my mana flasks. But I guess that's also an easier strat in Dark Souls since you have so many like summonable options.
Oh yeah, this doesn't have to be other players even. It could just be like random NPCs. They are like every boss basically gives you like the NPC that helps you with it, so you can go summon them, and it makes it things so much easier.
Well, that was only the first boss.
In Elden Ring?
Yeah, you have to use this like gold summoning thing, and it gives you a random player.
Yep.
And
And that's always tough because sometimes you won't even get a motherfucking player. I'm sure it's easier with Elden Ring since that player base is still very active. But dude, oh my god! Like,
sometimes you do get a useless motherfucker. I was
trying to find someone in Dark Souls 2 or something.
Dude,
is
I
like
was
impossible.
I was pissed the fuck off because I was stuck on this really aggressive dragon that is not good for a magic or incantation build.
No.
But you have to beat him to progress in a side quest that I was doing, but not in like the main quest, because I was in Michaela's Haligtree.
Right.
Or not Michaela's. The like the really difficult boss in Elden Ring that you don't have to beat to finish the game. Anyways, I was trying to do this quest because I wanted the stuff from it, and I go and do this gold summoning sign, and I bring this guy over here, and he straight up just stands on a cliff and watches me fight the dragon. Cause you have to drop down from this cliff for it to start.
You just didn't help?
No, he just watched me do it.
Why was he even there? Because they don't get any benefits from being there.
I think he was just like, he thought he was gonna go help me do something else. But then I turned around and I went to this side
And you were
quest.
like, oh. He was like, oh.
He was like, I don't really want to do that. I don't know why he didn't leave. He literally, I beat it.
Yeah.
That happened to be the time that I beat it. But fuck that
I
guy.
don't care if he wants to do that anyway, though, because if you're a summoned spirit, your life is very expendable. There's not really any penalty from dying in someone else's Dark Souls game.
Mm-hmm.
So just like go for it. If they want you to do some crazy boss, even if you're like under level for it, just help them in any way you can, because it's like literally the whole point. It's just you got to do what you can for this motherfucker. You put your sign down for a reason, use it.
Oh, fuck that guy. I think he really just didn't want to fight that thing.
It seems like it'd probably be. Is it easier to like actually like cheese and actually do kind of multiplayer in Elden Ring with like your friends, because the open world I feel like would make it easier to kind of summon someone and just have them stick with you for longer. Because it was always harder in Dark Souls to summon someone and like keep them around. You had to like, there was like a constant battle in that game of trying to get your friend to be in your game essentially, you know?
I think so, yeah, because I mean, cheesing bosses is not.
I mean, because it's not designed for you to be able to just have your friend join you, but like people always try to find a way, you know.
Mhm.
That's been a very popular way of playing those games for years, even though it's not that easy, is to try to do it with your friend.
Dude, I was so pissed because Gav, man, he was like, me and this other guy have been playing Elden Ring. We've been using like the multiplayer mod. You should get it. And then I was like, okay, send me the link. And he was like, oh, this is the website. And I was like, no, send me the link. You have my Discord. And he kept telling me, no, you should get it, and then you should hop on a brand new world with us. And I was like, oh, but I just put like 200 hours into this character. I don't really want to. I don't want to part ways with him just yet. And he was like, no, but you should go find that website and then download it and then figure out how it works on your own, and then you should play with us. And I was like, oh, just send me the link, asshole.
Just send me the link, please. I'll get Elden Ring on my PC sometime. We can do it properly then. I've never played any of those in like the proper multiplayer, but I'm sure it's fun.
I think doing 2 strength builds side by side would probably be ridiculously OP because you'd stagger the boss immediately.
Oh, that's why we both got to do like our own thing. Like you would be like the going into the pits with your big ass sword kind of guy, and I would be like the sorcerer.
Suck my dick, I'm being a lightning build. There's nothing you can do to stop me.
I'll be the sorcerer. You
could do
constantly throw shit at him.
You could do Frostbite, because Frostbite's a really good sorcerer build, but once you inflict Frostbite, it slowly ticks down. But if you hit somebody with fire, it immediately goes down. So I could do an incantation build and constantly throw fireballs at him too.
Fuck yeah. Oh god.
Plus, I think Frostbite ticks for a little more than Bleed does. So Frostbite does a lot of damage.
This is so random, but you wanna help me kill 2 birds with 1 stone with this podcast episode? You wanna, for the next few minutes of this podcast, talk about Spore, Biffy, and why you think it's a one-of-a-kind game, and I'll just sit here and listen?
Spore is the greatest game ever made. That isn't a debate. There is no argument against that. If you think you can argue against it, you should, check yourself, because you're about to get riggedy wrecked by yourself. And I think you should honestly consider just being a better person. Because if you dislike Spore, you are a bad person, and there's no really faith or hope for you left on this world. I think that's it. No, Spore is a really good game. I really like Spore. It's gonna be a lot of this Stegosaurus Rex. There's gonna be a lot of Stegosaurus Rex in this.
There's a lot of dinosaurs in this video.
There's gonna be a lot of dinosaurs in this tangent, but I was about to be. There's a lot of parts of this where I just blankly stare at the camera after telling somebody some ridiculous shit. I really like Spore for the freedom, the creativity. And it is true that a lot of the people who still really like Spore just really like the character and creature creation aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I really like Spore for everything that it has to offer. I mean, every stage has different gameplay mechanics. I think that's really cool.
Nobody ever talks about that.
That there's basically 5 games in one, and it's like $13. It's pretty cheap for what it is, for what it offers.
And there's nothing else like it, as far as I know, right? That's like the whole crux of this, because there's no modern version of Spore. That's why you still play Spore to this day.
If there was a modern version of Spore, I don't care if it was $100. I would flop my bank account to play. I would get a new PC if I needed it.
A modern idea of Spore that eradicates all the annoying aspects of the original game, and it's just everything that's good about it.
Yeah, and if it expanded on it, because Spore is not a big game either. Space wise, it's and not even just that it doesn't have a lot to offer. It's very well compressed file wise. But there are annoying things. Sometimes you want to do something in the character creator that you just can't because they put a limit on something, or it doesn't have the like Sims thing or like what other games have sometimes with character creators where you can just grab a part of something and stretch it out.
Right.
It has like specific points and axes on these new parts
that
you can expand, which can make the game a little limiting at sometimes, but most of the time it gives you 3 to 4 different axes that you can expand and contract. What I don't like is how they sometimes combine some of those features, like if there's like something with spikes on it, sometimes how far those spikes stick out and how big they are just depends on the length of the object. So you can't change the length and how much the spikes stick out, which is frustrating. But the game does give you so much freedom when it comes to the character creator.
Yeah.
If anything, I just wish that there were more random events that could happen while you're doing some of these things, because some of the stages start to feel a little long and a little repetitive, like the, this is something that you've never heard before, is me actually genuinely criticize Spore. This is the first time, but during the tribal stage, I'm sure you remember, it's really fun and interesting, and it's really, really different for the first few, like, tribal contacts you have, and then, like, the map expands, and now there's, like, more tribes, and it's like, oh, it's just gonna be the same fucking thing. But now I have more weapons and music instruments.
Just constantly making weapons and setting your dudes to fight dudes over and over
again. Which, like, that would be fine as the base game mechanic if there were more random interactions, if there were more ways to expand your tribe, but instead it's literally, you use food to have, you gather food, you use food to have kids, to make weapons and music instruments, and then those music instruments and weapons is how you interact with tribes.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's it.
There should definitely be more than that. Like, like you could make like hierarchies or something even of like people who in your tribe are important who aren't.
That's also something I never understood. See, I kind of like it because it does this in the stage after that. In the tribal stage, if you befriend a city, that's basically it. Once you've done that, you've befriended them, and now they'll bring you food sometimes. That's all that you do. You can also like heal at their village, but that doesn't make sense because there's just more benefits to going back to your own. But I would like it more if you could like wage war with your other tribes, or if they could send you like a soldier or two. That would make more sense. But in the next stage, you actually get to do that. You get to take over cities, and then those cities that you take over, they're not just like friends of yours. Those are your cities now, which is very cool. I think we got through that stage, didn't we?
I think so.
Yeah, it took, because we're in the final one now, the space one.
Yeah, video's not out yet though, but I think we did.
Yeah. That's gonna be interesting.
I don't think we started the space one, but we're like right on the verge of getting it or something.
Because God, I haven't done it yet, but I expect it's gonna take a long time. That's the only stage of the game I haven't played yet.
So you're going in blind. That's gonna make it a lot difficult too. We're learning as we go.
That stage is gonna be 4 or 5 episodes long.
I kind of sport is really cool, and like the monster creation thing too, like you said. But I struggle to think of any other game that lets you just like gives you that much options to just be like, hey, make a creature. Just make a creature and make more of them. Like there's no other games. Like it's weird, you know. Why haven't any other games really taken advantage of something like that?
Yeah, and it's not even just that feature. It's the features after it. It's like, okay, make a living creature. Okay, after the end of this stage, you don't get to make the creature anymore. Now you dress them. And after you dress them, and you give them like suits of armor, and you give them like business clothes, now you get to make their vehicles, all of their vehicles from scratch.
And their town too, right?
Yeah, you get to decide what all of their buildings look like and all of their vehicles. Which, to be fair, those things would probably be harder in like a more modern scape because people would be expecting more in-depth stuff.
Yeah.
But Crossout's one of the few games that has something like that, where it's just like, here's a bunch of vehicle parts, do whatever the fuck you want with it.
Yeah.
But that's also why I really like Crossout. I need to get back into Crossout, because every time I get into Crossout, I play it for like 2 days, and then I'm like, I'm done. But it's a really cool game.
Crossout might be another good example, too, because Crossouts kind of get older, isn't it? And there's not really that many games that just like let you experiment with different mechanics like that.
Yeah, because most of them instead are like, if they have something similar, it's more like you have a slot, and you can put whatever you want of that type in that slot, but that's all you get. And it's like Crossout straight up just like, put stuff together.
Make rocket.
Make rocket, yeah, do whatever you... Also, Crossout just came out with an update that I saw where you can make mechs. Like straight, because they've been experimenting with stuff like that for a while. Like they had the spider car, because it'd be like instead of wheels, it was like spider legs, like robotic spider legs. And now you can just put like humanoid robot legs on it and like a caboose. A caboose? No, not a caboose. Like a cabin. You can put big arms on it and stuff like. So it's slowly becoming like a better version of that like mech fighting game.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's like completely pay to win. That's also what I like about Crossout. Is you can spend money on it to get cool stuff, but you don't have to pay to like get good stuff either.
That's always nice. The option being there isn't as bad if it's not fucking like forced or necessary or whatever. Another game kind of like that though. I just remember now the fucking. What is it called? Something Kerbal Space Program or whatever.
Oh yeah, because we keep talking about playing Kerbal.
Yeah, we really wanted to play Kerbal for the channel. We just haven't yet. But there's like that's another good example of those kind of games where it just like encourages you to experiment with different weird builds of something and then just fucking go for it or whatever. Like let's see if your wonky dick-shaped rocket gets launched into the air or if it explodes before it ever even fucking leaves the atmosphere.
Yeah, dude. But you guess what else I got recently? This is totally off topic, but I was just thinking about games that we wanted to play for the channel, and I forgot to tell you about this, but I was looking on Steam recently, and I saw the OG Bendy game, like the non-full story one, like the one where you just like fucking with the axe guy.
Oh, because the cool thing about Bendy, I don't know fucking anything about Bendy. Really.
I know, I only know a little.
Oh, so then we'll both be going in kind of blind.
But I know that one's a lot shorter, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to play that, but it was on sale, and I was thinking about it, and I scrolled down. That game, the newer full story one, and like this side game they made about one of the side characters, all on sale for like $12.
Did you get all of them?
I got all 3 of them, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yes, so now we have 3 bending. They're also coming out with a new one.
Now we get to do outside of October horror content, because we didn't continue like anything from October.
And most of them aren't getting continued. Fuck Little Nightmares, that is not happening.
Look, Little Nightmares seems cool, but it's like I said. I think I said it in the video too. It seems more like something I would rather play on my own time and just kind of enjoy, rather than try to like do it for the channel, because we couldn't think of anything funny to say really, and it wasn't like it was that actively engaging either. You're just kind of climbing on things for a lot of it. I'm sure it gets a lot better as you go through it, but there's not really much for like content worth. At least at the beginning of the game,
yeah. Also,
which is where we were.
I don't like puzzle games where it's dark all the time, because that just pisses me off. I'd rather focus on the puzzle than focus on what I'm trying to find to complete the puzzle. And that's just, I don't know, that's just my personal preference. I don't think that makes the game worse. I'm sure that a lot of people find that interesting, but it's not my deal.
No,
it really has been.
We did, to be fair, we did try to do more Resident Evil 6, but they fucked us. That level we did was just ass. We spent forever on that boss.
Why is there literally no ammo? Why?
There's no ammo in that video game, dude. We were struggling for any bullets, and we finally beat that stupid monster. Got through all that shit just for the recording to like fuck up.
I think you realize too, like in the like post thing, because you got like 65% of your shots connected and were like headshots.
Yeah.
And you got like a C. And it's like, oh, so you're just supposed to hit everything perfectly.
Yeah, literally.
Which is bullshit, because that is a fast-paced combat sometimes.
Oh, yeah, it was hard to get the headshots, dude. You really have to, like, stop there for a second.
Which you can't do, because you'll die immediately.
That's why I'm advocating for fuck that game. We should just play Resident Evil 5, because it's also co-op, and it's like way less fucking stupid. We're not gonna be fighting like a 70-foot tall monster.
I'm honestly down there, because isn't that Boulder Biceps Redfield?
Oh yeah, that's his game. That's one of his games. He's the main guy of that one.
I'm down to play Boulder Biceps Redfield.
That's the
Chris
one
Redfield,
where
Resident
he
Evil
shows
5.
off his boulder biceps and punches that boulder into the fucking lava. That's the game that happens in.
You've told me, and I'm honestly thrilled to see it.
You've never seen the cutscene? Don't ever look it up, because it'd be better if we actually got to that, and you just get to have a live reaction all these years later to see him punch that fucking boulder. Oh my god, it's such a good game. It's so stupid, but it's so good. He goes ham on that fucking boulder. Chris does a lot of weird shit like that in the last 2 games. Resident Evil 6 and 5 just like delve into straight up anime lunacy. at points like there's this fucking they did it like an anime show a few years ago that was like for Netflix about Resident Evil, and one of the fight scenes in the show was just two characters like shooting at each other with pistols, but like in close quarters and like dodging it. Like they were like literally running at one point, running in circles trying to shoot the other person like in front of them while they were like a snake eating itself, but it was two guys just going.
God, dude, have you seen? I've only seen ads for it. I haven't seen the original thing, but I think it's a Netflix show or something or maybe a movie where these people curve their bullets by how they swing the gun while they shoot. And it's like, that is not how that works.
No, that's the whole point. That movie is so ridiculous. The final shot of that movie is Morgan Freeman getting shot through the back of the head, and then it follows through the bullet hole and goes through like an entire city, like through different buildings and up different floors and through like a guy's donut and like through a baseball game or some shit, and then all the way back into this dude's sniper at like the other side of the city, and then he looks straight into the camera. I'm not making this up. Looks straight into the camera and goes, "What the fuck did you do with your day?" Like he was. That's how the movie ends. It has
what
a video
the fuck
game.
did you do with your day?
It has a video game too. It's a wanted video game, and it's supposed to be fucking ridiculous.
There is just like an indie game that's similar to that. But it's it's more honest. It's not like, oh no, you just shoot like that. It's like, no, you just shoot a bullet and you control it throughout a level, and you have to kill everybody before the bullet stops moving.
I kind of dig
It did look fun. I forget what the game is called though.
I don't know why that's making me think of Super Hot. Did we do a short Super Hot playthrough at the jail? Because it's so good. Just for
dude, Super Hot VR looks so fun.
I wanted to try it so bad, but I never did. Like, I had the opportunity to once, and I just didn't take it. I don't know why. But it looks really good. It looks like the optimal way to play that game.
I have a VR headset.
If we could play anything on VR, we should play fucking Bowworks. You heard of that game?
Mm-hmm.
I really want to play Bowworks.
I don't know if I have the right headset for it, though, because I got this VR headset a long time ago, and one of the only things I played on it was VR chat, because VR chat is an experience.
Yeah.
VR chat is interesting.
Not always a good one.
Sometimes though it is, because I met a guy who always had a Jack Sparrow skin on, and he had a pretty good.
Told me he
had a pretty good impression.
It's non-stop impression too, right? He was just constantly like.
And I went around with like that frog skin where it's like a big, like super jacked frog with a car as his pants. He's just wearing like a little car, because it came from it basically looked like Stuart Little in his little red car, but it was a frog driving it, and then somebody saw that and was like, whoa, I got an idea. And they took the same car and just put it right around the dick of a super jacked frog model.
Jesus Christ.
And that was my skin, and then he was Jack Sparrow, and we would wander around worlds fucking with people.
I dig that, dude.
I miss that guy. I should go talk to him.
I should call her.
I should call him.
Jack Sparrow. Do you know his real name?
I just call him Jack.
Fucking God, dude. I dig the commitment.
We actually did this one world a lot where it was... I was finding these ones really funny, because I'm like, who is unironically coming to this for like an experience? It was the Titanic sinking VR simulation, where you got to just hang out on the Titanic for like 10 minutes before it started sinking.
It sounds like a Roblox game or something.
Kinda is, dude.
Is VR chat just Roblox, but with like less shit to do in it? And you could do VR and Roblox too, though.
It is kind of just Roblox, but in VR, dude. Because there's also like a lot of jailbreaks and stuff like that. Those are fun. Murder Mystery and Jailbreak is really fun to play.
It is just Roblox.
Yeah.
God, dude. Did it got natural disaster survive?
They probably do somewhere. I haven't played it though.
Play fuck.
There's a lot of just like hangout rooms though. There's a lot of motherfucking skins too. We should go look through my old skins, because there's probably a lot that I'd have a hard time explaining.
Are we gonna do VR chat video? How did you record VR? Did they have like something in place for that, or do you have to like do some third party shit?
So I think it's possible to just record that, but I think that the better method is because you can like display, because you can hook it up to your PC, and then you can display everything you're seeing on the PC.
We could just screen record the PC.
That's what I think you should do, because then you can see if anything's like messed up.
Right. And then we just would do like, just set the face cam up normally.
Mm-hmm.
Because you kind of need that for a VR thing.
And then we
too.
could definitely trade off, because I do not have 2 headsets.
No, that's it. I'll have to. That's fine. We'll just do some watching or whatever.
But the, no, VR is... Well, I also have Beat Saber if you ever wanted to try that.
Beat Saber looks fucking tough. I know I've only done VR once at another friend of ours' house years ago. And you might have been there. Or was that Gavin? I think it was Gavin, but I
think it was Gavin.
I did what is it? Job Simulator, which was just as boring as I figured it'd be from the name. Like, it's not bad, but like, I've had jobs before when I do customer service, so why would I want to do that in my free time?
I kind of want to play the Rick and Morty one.
There's a Rick and Morty, of course. Why am I asking? Of course there is, bro.
I think you play as a Mr. Mises who's like given a really difficult task, and you're like, you keep getting problems along the way or something like that.
Yeah, I think I remember watching like Jacksepticeye play that back in the day or something. That's always like my go-to bet. If I've seen a game 4 years ago, it's probably Jacksepticeye or something when I was like a teenager.
You know what is by far the one of the worst games of all time, like story-wise? Attack on Titan 2.
Oh yeah, I heard not good things about it.
I don't care if anybody will defend that game. I loved the gameplay. The
first one I heard was better, but the only one I've ever played is the first one, so I don't know much about this.
You have to get the DLC if you don't want a bad ending, because the normal ending is that you die.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense, because it's Attack on Titan. Normal soldiers die, but the whole thing is that you basically turn into Captain Levi by the end of the show. And then it's like, oh, you just sacrificed yourself to save the crew. And it's like, to what? A 5-meter Titan? I could have killed it. I killed hundreds of them. I could have killed it.
Yeah, literally. This is probably just nitpicky of me, but when I tried to watch, I never actually finished it, but when like years and years ago, when I started watching Attack on Titan, I couldn't help but feel like some of those guys, like the way that the hunters or whatever would die was like super avoidable. Like, they would, like, fall over once and then just, like, sit there on, like, a rooftop and be like, oh, fuck, this guy's gonna kill me in, like, 30 whole seconds. No. Like, just move. Just move your fucking ass.
I think Attack on Titan had a big thing, like, similar to what One Piece had, where it's, like, your will to live determines whether or not you do live sometimes. Because, like, a lot of those guys, like, I get what you mean. There were some times where it was 100% avoidable, but some of those guys were just, like, so terrified that when they fell over, they just gave up. They were just so terrified, and it's like, why don't you just try?
At least try, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not worth just giving up. Or like, because those guys, like the Titans too, they seem like really fucking slow. So just like, they can't be that hard to dodge.
It's only the abnormals that are fast.
Yeah, so like, why the fuck was that such a big problem for some of them? Like, they would just like be going up against the slowest thing ever. Yeah, the freezing thing drove me crazy too. I get the paralyzed in fear thing or whatever, but like, do not just stand there while that thing's mouth is coming at you, obviously.
That's the thing too, is it's like a fight or flight response, and more than half of the characters that you see die, they don't have a fight or flight response, they just become paralyzed. And it's like, have you really never faced any adversity or trouble in your life? Has nobody ever tried to punch you? If somebody tries to punch you, you should at some point develop a fight or flight response, and these people just have none.
This is gonna sound so lame too, but stuff like that is it's weirder for me to watch nowadays, because for some reason I feel more bad for random like side characters than I ever did as like a kid. Like, if someone just like randomly brutally dies in something, I'm like, oh, that sucks. Or like if it's like a comedy too, like that's a big thing of like what we do in the shadows. It's like it's a dark comedy and they're vampires, so obviously people be dying sometimes, but it doesn't really make me want to laugh. You know, I just kind of like, oh, I just feel bad for that person. Like, what did they do to deserve that? Same thing with like something like American Dad, where he'll like brutally murder an innocent random person or something. It's like, that's not funny. Maybe it is to some people, but not to me. It just makes me uncomfortable.
Same kind of thing happens in Family Guy. Like, it's funny maybe the first time you see it, but the 10th time that Peter's beating the ever-living fuck out of this chicken, bloodied on the floor, and you're like, how am I supposed to root for him again?
No, literally. Like, there's one part in American Dad where Stan is breaking into a grocery store, and this, like, random teenage employee comes up to him.
And he has, like, the fucking kung fu points on his body, and his eyes fucking, like, burst out of his head,
like,
don't
what
they?
the fuck? Yeah, just knock him out. Just knock him out. He was, like, a teenager. You could have just slapped him, and he would have been done. You didn't have to burst his heart in his chest. That's what he started with. He did that thing where he hit him so hard that his heart exploded. And then when his eyes, like, poofed out, he was like... Fucking Jesus, dude! Like, why?
I don't even think the teenager had really noticed he was there first. He just turns around and he's
he's just like, oh, sir, the store's closed, and he's just fucking.
Okay, but that is kind of funny. But holy shit!
I guess the innate reaction of him just immediately killing is the joke, is what makes it funny. But the brutality is what gets to me sometimes. It's like, did it have to be that brutal for you to get the joke across, though?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
On the other hand, you know what was very, very funny, but wasn't intentionally, was Scorpion killing Sub-Zero after everybody convincing him not to, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, of course I'm not gonna do it.
And he
You're
just
right."
did it anyway.
And then this motherfucker, this ghostly motherfucker, comes up behind him and he's like, "You know what he did? You know what he did?" And Scorpion's like, "You're right, I do," and he kills him. It's like, how little convincing.
You're right. Fuck this guy.
To be fair, he believed that man had done horrible things to him.
There are some better bits in What We Do in the Shadows that made me laugh about, like, the death bits. Like, there was one of, like, the first few episodes where they brought back this, like, ancient vampire. I think he's, like, one of the oldest living vampires. They brought him out of his tomb or whatever, and he just, like, stretches and gets back into it, and then, like, immediately grabs one of their familiars and eats them, and they don't even do shit about it. They just go like, hey, that's our familiar, and he, like, looks at the camera like, fucking this guy, what the fuck, this guy's a dick. And he's just eating the fucking homie, and they're just like, what, dude? Nandor's reaction too got me. He looked at his own familiar, and he was just like, ooh, you see that? He killed the familiar, scary. Nandor is the best character in that show. That show is ending very soon, in like a month or two, completely ending, and that makes me so sad because I just now got into it.
Dude, I feel the same thing, because you know what I heard recently? There's some rumors floating around that One Piece is ending after this next arc.
That's funny.
Dude, it might actually. And I'm not caught up yet. I'm not caught up.
That's what they said 20 years ago.
Okay, but they didn't have an argument then. This guy is supposed to be like this guy that Luffy's gonna go fight. He's supposed to be like the destroyer of the world. So if Luffy beats him, who is he gonna be weaker than? Who is there gonna be left for him to fight?
They're gonna do some dumb buff where Luffy just like forgets his whole, the last 20 years of his life basically. And it's just like, I don't remember how to.
I don't even think he's 20.
Hero.
I don't even think he's 20.
How long has it been in this?
In the show, like 2.5 years. Because I don't think you understand. You see almost
every second of these people's lives.
You see almost every day, except for the time skip. So like, okay, so like, I guess that's wrong. The show is like 4.5 years long because you see like 2 or 2.5 years, and then there's like 2 years that you don't see. But there's so Luffy would be almost 21.
That's it.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, bro. How are they gonna continue the live action show though? Because it's just like there's only so long that they could do that with the characters being the ages they are and all of that, and
so they're condensing it a lot. Like I think they go through the first like 50 or some episodes in the first season.
Yeah, which is probably for the best.
And
I heard good things, though.
Yeah, they might not go all the way through, but they prepped really, really hard. Like, I think they did all the set pieces for the first 2 seasons before they hired actors.
They learned their lesson from Cowboy Bebop. I'm just pissed that it had to be my anime that got the shit one and yours that got the good one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why the fuck did my favorite anime have to get terrible, terrible treatment, terrible show, horrible ending? Fuck the live action. Cowboy Bebop is one of the worst things ever.
Okay, to be fair, they didn't just learn from Cowboy Bebop. There's been a lot of shit anime movies over
I mean, I was
years.
thinking more of like Netflix, I guess.
Oh, yeah,
themselves.
I guess that's true.
But yeah, there's been a lot. Like Parasite as well. That's my second favorite anime, and it has 2 live action movies.
Death Note used to be my favorite anime.
Oof, I'm sorry.
I didn't even finish the live action movie. I saw part of it. I was like, oh, go fuck yourself.
My favorite part of the live action movie is when Ryuk or whatever shows up, and then they changed his name. His name isn't the same as it is in the anime because they wanted to make it more American or whatever. His name is something stupid like, what is it? It's like Light Turner. Instead of like Light Yagami, it's like Light Turner. So when Light Turner,
I think so.
When Light Turner sees Ryuk, he lets out the most piercing shriek of all time. It is so funny. It is like the most ungenuine scream I've ever heard. He's just like looks at this guy and goes, ah! It's like, what is this, a comedy? Is Ryuk also gonna start screaming back at him? You know, like they're gonna do that thing where they're like, ah!
Ryuk was honestly probably the best part of that movie, though.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe, and he looks cool with that. The makeup they did looked very cool.
Yeah, and they put him on like some like short stilts so he could be like tall as fuck in the movie.
They just underutilized him because he's only in like 5 minutes total of the movie, maybe. That's it.
That's why I didn't want to watch it, is because I was like, no matter what point of the anime they end off at, they're going to do it wrong, and it's going to feel like shit.
The ending of that movie makes no sense. It takes place on this Ferris wheel, all the cops are like after him and his girl, and he's like pissed that she wrote his name into Death Note or something, and he's like pissed that she did that. I think he did, I don't know. He has this weird elaborate scheme ready to like cancel out his own death, but she, like, the Ferris wheel falls over, she dies, he lands in the water and lives somehow, but then the Death Note washes up. Carter, goddammit, the Death Note washes up on shore, and this is part of his plan. He has somehow had written into the Death Note that it would wash up on shore and be found by like a random criminal who would then use it to like finish his job for him and then kill himself. And it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, I don't think you can like predetermine what happens with the Death Note just from writing it. You can.
You can, but only to a certain extent.
Not to that extent, though, right? Where he's just like, and then this happened, and then it happened.
And then that's where it's like a little it's also like, how quickly did he have to fucking write that?
He had it written out already, apparently, well, before he got there or something like that. I don't know. It didn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't make any sense.
See, there were points of the anime that were occasionally like that, but one of them that was like really good was when he hasn't had the Death Note for like a year. And, like, he doesn't think he's like Yagami because you lose your memories when you don't have it. But he has a little piece of the paper in his watch. And his whole bit was, like, he basically set up the events to have them catch the current guy that he gave the Death Note to. And that's probably where this came from.
Yeah.
But the only thing he wrote in the Death Note at that point was that this guy would get caught. And that he wouldn't kill Light Yagami in that time. Those were the only conditions.
That's it.
I'm pretty
He did
sure.
it right, like, and then the Death Note rolls onto shore and is found by this specific criminal.
So, Light Yagami basically just planned that him and L were going to be together during the investigation.
Yeah.
So then L gets his hands on the Death Note because they take it from the other guy, and then he hands it to Light Yagami because now that he hasn't had it for like a year, now L trusts him completely. And once he gets his hands on it, he's like, yeah, you're right. This is strange. And he gets all of his memories back, and then he opens that little piece of his watch after handing the evidence back off. For like the 30 seconds that he gets to keep his memory of being a Death Note user, he writes L's real name on that little piece of paper that he kept for the past year.
Hell yeah.
And that was a pretty big brain moment, but I did hate a lot of the ending of that show.
I don't even know how the show itself, I never finished the anime.
I forgot because I hated it so much. I just know that there's two new guys who, guess what, they both go under an alias of just a letter.
One of the only semi-decent things Onision ever did was his parody of Death Note. Did you ever see that? It was actually pretty funny. I'm gonna kill this fly. I swear to God, I'm gonna kill it.
You're gonna have to break the computer to do it, man. I'm sorry.
Where is... Oh, is he on the goddamn bastard? Get on my laptop. This is what I get for leaving my window open for goddamn 20 minutes.
I actually, Is it at almost an hour? Okay, that's good because I did actually just shit myself, and I think that we're gonna have to.
We're gonna have to wrap it up here.
I'm gonna have to clean myself.
Oh, okay, again.
We didn't do enough green screen. I
already had to replace the chair cushion before.
Is it smelling? I'm sorry.
Dude, you got it on the back this time.
Oh. We didn't do a whole lot of green screen bits this time.
I don't know, we did it. Should we end it on a good one then?
Oh, is that Ryuk now? Oh, he doesn't like that we were talking shit on his homeboy Light Yagami.
Oh god.
Oh no. Oh god. Why is it every time that we try it it's just bad?
This is a force to be reckoned with.